Hey, relocating to Seattle? Thinking about selling and moving up or downsizing? Or watching the market as an investor from the sidelines? Now this matters to you. Now inventory is rising, homes are taking a little longer to sell. Now buyers have real choices again, yet prices are not falling the way most people expected. Now that gap between the rising inventory and steady prices creates opportunity, but only for those who are paying attention. Now stick with me until the very end because I'll share a absolutely free resource where you can see up to the minute zip code specific data for anywhere in the United States and understand exactly where the market is heading. Hey, I am Ravi Ramachandran with the Rhymes Group. I help relocation buyers move up, move down, sellers, and investors make informed real estate decisions across the Seattle and Eastside areas. Every month, I review the Northwest MLS data and break it down into what actually matters so that you can make decisions with total clarity and confidence. Now we'll start with what's happening nationally and then tie it into the three counties, King, Snohomish, and Pierce, for you to get an end-to-end perspective. Now first, nationally, the housing market continues to move at a slower, more deliberate pace than a year ago. Now mortgage rates are still a big factor shaping buyer behavior. No surprises there, right? Now rates are hovering in the low to mid sixes, which is lower than last year's highs, if you will, but still high enough to keep buyers kind of a little cautious. Now at the same time, more homes have come on the market nationally and inventory is up year over year, and that's giving buyers more options as well as more time. Now this is not a crash, it's just a reset, I would call. Now buyers are selective, sellers are adjusting. Homes that are priced right are still selling. And that national reset explains why the Seattle area market feels calmer right now, relatively speaking. So with the national picture out of the way, let's turn our attention to King County first. Now the shift here is becoming more clear. Now inventory is up meaningfully compared to that of last year, and pushing months of supply into the mid 1 month range. This is still a seller's market, but it's far more balanced than what we saw during the peak frenzy years. Now homes are taking longer to sell, with days on market now sitting around 50 days. And the list to sale price ratio has slipped just under 99%, which tells us buyers are negotiating again instead of waiving everything to win. Now the median price remains in the mid to high 800s and demand hasn't disappeared. Now buyers are simply being more thoughtful. In King County, pricing and preparation matter more than speed, something for you to heed. And in Seattle though, a couple of outliers. We had lost on a couple of homes which had sat on the market for 100 plus days, yet buyers were rushing in to offer full price after 100 plus days. And I am keeping an eye on the market and will let you know if there were outliers or this is a trend that we are seeing form. Next, let's move on to Snohomish County. Snohomish shows even clearer shift towards balance. Inventory is up noticeably, months of supply moved closer to neutral, and homes are taking longer to sell there, with days on market now in the low to mid 50s. Now prices have softened compared to last year, with the median sitting in the low to mid 700s. And sellers are receiving slightly under list price on average instead of over asking. Now for buyers, this creates leverage and breathing room, doesn't it? And for sellers, it means pricing right from day one is super critical. Snohomish is no longer a rush market, it's a decision market. That's how I would call it. Now after looking at King and Snohomish, let's move on to Pierce. Now Pierce, as always, has continued to act as the affordability anchor for the entire region. Now inventory is higher than last year and homes are taking a little longer there to sell, and days on market are pushing towards the upper 50s there as well. Now prices dipped modestly year over year, with the median landing in the mid 500s. Now even with that softening, sellers are receiving close to list price, which kind of tells us that demand hasn't gone away there. Now buyers priced out of King and Snohomish counties are continuing to look there, keeping Pierce County competitive. Now that's true especially for well-priced and move-in ready homes. Now after looking at the national data, tying it to the local counties, let's see what this means if you're a buyer or a seller. If you're buying in this market, it gives you something you haven't had in a while, which is time. You can compare homes, you can negotiate, you can include protections again, and you don't have to rush every decision. No, markets like this often reward patient buyers who move before competition heats back up, especially if the rates kind of ease later in the year. If you are selling, on the other hand, buyers are still active, but they're very careful. Now, homes that are priced right, prepared well, are selling. Now, homes chasing last year's prices are sitting. Now, strategy matters more than ever. Now, patience is the Uber umbrella covering everything. This is a market where smart numbers and disciplined decisions outperform speed. Now, I have access to all of the detailed stats across King, Snohomish, and Pierce counties. And instead of just rattling every number out here, I focused on a few key metrics that actually would matter to you, besides setting the context as to what they would specifically mean. Because clarity beats information overload every time. Wouldn't you agree? That said, I do have a stats by zip code link in the description below. It gives you a ton of information, and everything is for free, and lets you see what's happening in any zip code across all the 50 states in the US. You don't want to miss out. Also, comment below letting me know what stood out to you in this market update, and how does the market feel overall to you. Appreciate you, and until the next market update, you stay safe. I'll talk soon.